Justin, should I join a real estate team or should I just do this all by myself? Your questions answered next. Hey guys, Justin here, and we're going to talk about the top 10 things that I would consider if you're joining into real estate and you're like, should I join a team? Should I try to do this all on my own? Or Justin, what should I do? What's your advice? And so here's my thing. These 10 things are going to be a little bit scattered. Some are going to be things to think about. Some of them are going to be things like, here's what you should or shouldn't do. And we're just going to kind of go through them. So the very first thing that I say when you are a new real estate agent considering, should I join a team or not, is number one, the education. The education when you join the right team is insane. Now, you're always going to go talk to brokerages, you're going to talk to solo agents, you're going to talk to teams, and everybody's going to have a differing opinion. But for me, I still made $120,000 in my first year on a team split, on a team, and guess what? I don't think that I would have made it. I don't think I would have made that much. I don't think I would have made it if I wouldn't have been on a team. Now, that was my personality, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the video. But number one, if you value education, I think that it's absolutely imperative for you to be on a team when you first get started. Now, I hear all the time, well, Justin, I'm a grinder. I can go do it by myself and no one is my boss and blah, 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 blah. And the same thing is on a team. I didn't feel like anybody was my boss. I felt like I had an increased opportunity at education when I was on a team. And so that's number one is education. If you value education, I think a team is a great place for you to lay your hat when you first get started. Number two, financial weight. Financial weight's a big thing. For a lot of people, when they're trying to transition industries, when they're coming over, a lot of people have zero savings. And so if you have zero savings in the bank and you're jumping over into real estate, a team is an absolutely great way to jump because a lot of your normal expenses will be picked up by the team. They're willing to bet on you in the long run, so they pick up some of those expenses on the front end. Different things like internet leads or, admins or different things like that. I don't want to go through them all because here's the thing. Some teams provide almost no value and some teams provide, just an enormous list of value. So depending on your financial situation, make sure you evaluate what does a solo agent look like. And even better is if you're talking to a lot of people, and you can talk to me about this too, what are the true cost of a solo agent? A lot of agents get in the business thinking that it's just like, there's no expenses, there's no anything. And then what you don't realize is, ooh, I didn't know I was going to have to pay that much just to be on commission only. And so the team can take off a lot of that burden if you're on a team. So that's one thing to consider. Number three is paperwork, guys. I'll be honest with you. You'll probably see how goofy I am on these videos. I am not a guy that you want handling your real estate paperwork. I absolutely suck at it. I don't enjoy it. Now, don't get me wrong. When I get down to the nuts and bolts, I make sure that it's perfect for my clients. It's never going to be missing. It's never going to have things missing. But man, it just feels like a complete struggle to get that paperwork done. It's always being done, in a procrastinated way. I just don't like it. So by joining the team, one of the really cool benefits I got was I had this really bomb, just badass transaction coordinator. It's my mom. It was my mom when I got into the business, and then it eventually transitioned to this girl named Brooke, who absolutely just rocked my world in the transaction world, because guess what? I didn't have to do anything. Literally nothing. She was literally there to protect me and to make sure everything I was doing, and my clients, here's the cool thing, they liked Brooke more than they liked me, which was awesome because then they went to Brooke with everything that they needed, and now I was able to go and produce more transactions and keep growing my business. Number four is the peer group. Guys, it was just energetic to come into an office and have other people with the same name as you all accomplishing the same goal. Now, I get it. You're going to pay a split to your team a lot of time, or pretty much every time, but here's the thing. A split of 0 deals, like my dad used to tell me this, he'd tell people this all the time. 100% of 0 is 0. I was on a 30% split when I first got into the business, and guess what? I was able to do so many transactions, it didn't even matter. Like, even to this day, most people would be shocked that I was on a 30% split, but it's because the way my dad structured his team and the way we ended up structuring it as I would continue as a team leader, we structured it to where there was so much value that the agents were willing to pay 60-70% to be on the team because there were so many things they didn't have to do, and they could still just make just as much money as they would on their own. But the peer group is massive. So number 4 is the peer group. If you get energized by people, a team is a great place for that. Number 5 is proven systems. I had watched my dad build some pretty great systems, and I'd watched them just go. I had watched his failure. I had grown up watching all the different things that he had to go through to learn what was the best way to do things. And in the beginning, I didn't want to deal with any of that, so I just wanted to be able to plug into the templates and the scripts that he had. And so number 5, being proven systems, was a great way for me to launch my business. Number 6 is an increased budget backing you, which is kind of like number 2 for financial weight. But it goes above and beyond, even if you're in a financially stable situation. Because if you are, it's still a great option is number 6 for an increased budget backing you. Because from day one, when I started on the real estate team, I had access to things like internet leads. I had access to all these different things and ideas, like I needed 100 door hangers, all these different things. Now, while I couldn't just freely spend the team's money as a team member, there was limitations in my contract and things like that. I had the ability to bring ideas to the table and execute things that I probably wouldn't have been able to do when at 19 years old, I only had a few $1,000s to my name. So number 6, increased budget backing you was a big thing. Number 7, you have to ask yourself, what is your style? Right? If you're someone that just can't imagine yourself being on a team, then don't do it. Because here's the cool thing about real estate, guys. Whether you decide to join a team at the beginning or you start off solo, like if you join the team in the beginning and you don't like the team model, you can go be solo the next day. If you start off on a solo journey and you find out 3 months down the road that you're actually more of a team member type real estate player because you're now learning the real estate market, awesome. Go join a team. That's the cool thing about real estate, guys. You can join, you can leave, you can do different things until you find that perfect fit. There's no problems with it. It's not like just don't sign any contracts that say you have to stay here for like 12 months. Like that all is BS. Don't ever sign a contract on a team that does that. That, I believe, is coming from a scarcity mindset. So if you ever see that, I would run far, far away. Number 8, what is your long game? So if from the start, you're like, Justin, I am going to build my own team, and I want it to start fast. Like, I want to have team members by next year, etc. Well, then I probably wouldn't join a team because then you're just joining the team and you're going to basically use them for a bit and let them know that you're just going to be leaving later. So it's kind of a lot of back and forth. You're going to go learn some things, but then you're going to have to build it from scratch again once you leave their team. If you got a long game of wanting to build a massive team really, really fast, I think it's great. I also give people at the time that are 20 years old, they go, Justin, I want to build a team one day, but I think I'm going to go join a team for a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get the base underneath me, and then I'm going to go launch my own team. I don't think that that's a bad idea either. I think that you really can't go wrong whether you're going with a team or not going with a team. It just is really up to you. Number 9 is, what is the time commitment? Which we've kind of already talked about in some previous ones, is how long does that team expect for you to be on their team? Like, we've had people come to our team, they would tell us, hey, we don't expect to live here, but for another 2, 3 years, can we still join your team even though we're 2 or 3 years, we're just going to move or we're going to change jobs? Or we even had people tell us like, hey, we're going to join your team, but we already know that we're going to want to start our own team next year. Guys, the right team owner, if you align with them, they are going to support your goals. One of the really cool things that my dad did as a team owner, when I would sit down and one-on-ones with people and he was hiring, is he would tell people, hey, my goal is I actually want you to go out there and start your own team one day. I would be selfish to try and hold you within a bubble that the team would provide you. And what was really cool about what he said is he said, if I want to keep you forever, I need to grow my business so big that you can run your own team within my team. And that just changed my perspective on everything, because then when I started to hire people for our team, I'll tell them the same thing. We had people that come in and wanted to make $300,000-$400,000 a year, and I said, you can do it. because what we're doing as management, as leaders, is we're growing this company to several $1,000,000 to where you, if you want to run a $400,000 a year empire underneath this body and team, you can. Now, if a leader up there is saying, hey, I'm good with my 5 deals a year, this team's just going to be a $5 million a year team, yeah, probably not a great goal. So one question I would ask is, when you're thinking about time commitment, things like that, I'd be like, what is your goals, Mr. Leader? What are your 5-year goals? What are your 10-year goals, to see if they have a growth mindset? The last thing is small thinkers think it's bad. A lot of small thinkers go, oh, Justin, you shouldn't join a team at 30%. And we hear that all the time. But then what you find is they're just thinking small, right? One of my really good friends, and I actually have several of these, are on real estate teams, and I guarantee you they make more money than 99% of the real estate agents watching this, right? And they make 99% more money than the people that aren't real estate agents yet. It's an insane, the amount of money that you can make on a team when you do it the right way. And now again, I'm not saying that a team is for everybody, but I just wanted to kind of bring you guys to light some things. And it was a little bit of a scattered video, but it's just, at the end of the day, whether you start with a team, whether you don't start with a team, you really can't go wrong. And so if you're watching this and you're not licensed yet in real estate and you're stressing, should I join a team? What brokerage should I join? I'm just going to tell you, don't stress about it. If you pick the wrong brokerage for you and you find out that you're a totally different style, you can always switch. If it's not, guys, one of the biggest things, and we'll talk about this in future videos, you think that the brokerage is hiring you. And guess what? It's actually you hiring the brokerage. The brokerages aren't hiring you. You are hiring the brokerages. A lot of people think like, oh, am I going to get accepted by that brokerage? Or is it going to be hard to find a job? Guys, any brokerage wants you because you can make them money. So now it's more about you just finding the brokerage that best fits your style. And so your style may change. I was with KW for a long time, and heck, I got the bold bracelets, I got, bold on my arm, and it just finally wasn't a fit for my style anymore. And guess what? Some of my best friends are still at that company, and now I'm at a new company. Now, if in 10 years I find that there's a better opportunity for me, I might have to move. I will tell you, probably not going to happen, because this is the best model I have ever seen, at least for me in my business, and I can't imagine ever leaving this company. I could always imagine leaving the last company I was at, but just wanted to show you guys, I made that transition. I didn't lose friends. I didn't lose customers. It's cool. The real estate industry as a whole, you're really big thinkers. They don't see with company goggles, they see you as a person. And so, if you're with a different company right now and you need some help, or you just have some questions about should I join a team or not join a team, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to answer your guys' questions, kind of pick your brain. I'm not going to be like, hey, come join my company tomorrow, or anything like that. I want to make sure that you guys are succeeding at the highest level you want, or not that you want, that you can, the highest level that you can achieve. I want to help you get there. And so even if you're a different company and you're debating, should I go join another team, within that company, or should I go solo, reach out to me. Let me know what your guys' questions are. I can even kind of do an analysis on your guys' your personality. That, as a team leader, I help grow our team from 3, 4, 5 agents all the way up to 15 in just a short time. So I know the people that are good fit for teams and those that aren't. And like I said, you can always change it later on. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.